There was an article written, I don't know if I ever made you read this, years ago called New Wine in Old Bottles.
Yeah, I think I did.
And it was about, the stress on the traditional financial system. I think everyone's been surprised at how
We've survived.
how long that new wine has been fermenting in the old bottles. If we look closely, we'd see a lot of cracks, and it wouldn't take a lot. So the greater the pressure, the less you have to have a little bit more to break something.
Yeah.
And so it's not going to take a lot, but it's, we've seen this in change issues for years, for millennia, that there will be a period of pressure building over a far longer period than anyone expected.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, there's just this little nudge, and boom, there's a mushroom cloud, and everyone says, "What happened?" But if you trace it back, it was a long period of time that built up to that moment. I mean, I remember there was one of the most profound moments of my life occurred on a birthday when I was sitting in a Marriott hotel in Tarrytown, New York. I was teaching a financial systems class for IBM over a satellite system. And I got back to the hotel after I went on a run with Owen Charrington. He was my partner in this. Got back to the hotel, I turned on CNN, and there were people standing on the Brandenburg Gate wall in East Germany. And I sat there for, I'm not sure I went to bed that night. I probably looked like I hadn't the next morning when I was teaching. But I was so mesmerized by this because as a little kid, I remember watching these May Day parades in Moscow and thinking,
how could that ever change?
Yeah, and all of a sudden, it seemed, man, where did this come from? But it was pressure that had been building over decades. That all of a sudden, I can't remember exactly what the trip was, the trigger for this, but all of a sudden, there's people standing on the Brandenburg Gate. I used to use these two slides in presentations when I talk about change, where I somehow found the picture of the day before.
Yeah.
And it was soldiers standing all along this wall. And then the next day, it's covered with people with pickaxes and sledgehammers and all kinds of stuff, breaking off pieces of the wall.
That was one day.
Over one day. And that's not descriptive of what happened, the process that they went through.
No.
So, I don't know anyone that's better positioned to help lead or manage that tipping point whenever it comes. And I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you. No, I'm trying to give away information, trying to teach and educate, pass on to others. I've had a lot of mentors, good mentors. I've been unusually blessed in mentors. I have been unusually blessed in exceptional mentors. Thank you, Eric.
My pleasure.
I respect Eric deeply, and you can't tell, can you? I mean, I'd love to have a conversation with you. So
We'll have to do it again.
Thanks.